Hello students, welcome back to your science class. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is cell, we were talking about nucleus. We have seen students that what is a nucleus and what is the function of the nucleus we have seen, and then we move to understand cytoplasm. In case of a nucleus students, we have understood basically nucleus consisting of a liquid, or we can say it is filled with a liquid which is called as nucleoplasm. Now this nucleoplasm, it get differed or it gets separated with the help of a nuclear membrane from that of the cytoplasm. In case of a nucleus students, we have seen that this nucleoplasm is consisting of two things in it. The first thing, that is, it is having a nucleolus in it, and the second thing, chromatin material is there. If we talk about the nucleolus students, so nucleolus is that structure which is present inside to that of the nucleus, and basically this nucleolus, students, this is the nucleolus is also called as the factory of ribosomes students. So this help in making a lot of ribosomes with which the protein is formed. The second one is the chromatin material. So chromatin material is that one which consisting of chromosomes in it. If we talk about the chromosomes, what happened here? So here we have seen students, that is chromatin material consisting of what? It is consisting of a chromosome get condensed, chromatin material it get condensed, and thus the formation of a chromosome happen. Now this chromosome basically it consisting of the genetic material in it, and that is DNA. DNA help in transferring the genetic information from one side to the another, from one chromosome to the other, and this DNA, this chromosome consisting of a DNA which is having a segment of a gene carrying the characters in it. Now the chromosomes, it means if two chromosomes are there, they are joined together through a center that is called as centromere. Okay, and right now this chromosome is called as sister chromatids. Okay, so what is sister chromatid? When the two chromosomes, they are joined together at a point, that is called as a sister chromatid students. Role of the chromosomes, absolutely it will help in transferring the genetic material from one to the other. This is the role of the chromosomes in it. Now question asks that what is the function of the nucleus student? Nucleus, it controls all the metabolic activities that is happening inside the cell. It means that is why it is called as the brain of the cell. So if nucleus dies, then the cytoplasm or the cell becomes dry, and finally it will die up. So it is quite important that the nucleus should sustain because it helps in controlling all the different activities. Other things student, absolutely it is a material which help in transferring the character from one to the other, or from the parents to that of the offspring. So this is how we can say that nucleus is important to us. The next thing that we were talking about student, that was cytoplasm. What is the cytoplasm? So here we have seen few things, and that is cytoplasm. It is a fluid which is present inside that of the cell. And here in this one, cytosol is there, and in the cytosol a lot of various cell organelles used to flow. So we can say that the remaining part except cell wall, nucleus and cell membrane that we have seen right now, the remaining part consisting of a matrix, a jelly-like a matrix is there, which is called as cytoplasm. So the remaining part of the cell, remaining part of the cell, the remaining part of the cell other than nucleus, other than other than nucleus is filled with a jelly-like matrix. A jelly-like matrix that is called as, so a jelly-like matrix, and this is called cytoplasm. This is called cytoplasm. So the remaining part of the cell other than nucleus, it is filled with a jelly-like matrix that is called as cytoplasm. Now, cytoplasm form a ground matrix. Cytoplasm forms a ground matrix which contain various cell organelles. Which contains various cell organelles. Which contain various cell organelles such as mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, lysosomes, centriole is also there. So, lysosomes, centriole, etc. And most of these organelles are enclosed by membrane. By membrane. Such membrane bound organelle is absent in prokaryotes. Now see here, what are the things that we will find here? The first thing, student, the first point is that it forms a matrix, a ground matrix, student. It means it forms a kind of a fluid in which, a kind of a ground fluid in which all the cell organelles used to float in it, or used to present, or used to remain in it. So these are various cell organelles include mitochondria is there, endoplasmic reticulum is there, Golgi body is present there, student, lysosome is there, centriole is there. And when you look at these organelles, you will find that they all are what? They are enclosed by a double membrane or by a membrane. So these all are the cell organelles which is present, which lie in the cytoplasm, and they are enclosed by a membrane. But what is the difference that you will find in case of a prokaryote? Okay, although every cell organelle is not present, but whatever the cell organelle is present, it is not bound by a membrane. It is not a membrane bound organelle. Okay, so first point is that it is a kind of a matrix here. Now, if we look chemically the structure of the cytoplasm, then what we will find? So, second point is, that is, chemically the cytoplasm, chemically the cytoplasm, chemically the cytoplasm represent a true solution, represents a true solution. It represents a true solution. Okay, and it contains 70 to 85% of water. It contains 70 to 85% of water. Now, the remaining part, includes sugar, minerals, vitamins, nucleotides, tRNAs, many enzymes, and proteins. Many enzymes and proteins, amino acid, fats, amino acids, fats, includes the emulsifies form. So basically, when we look chemically the cytoplasm, it is like a true solution. How, student? Because most of the cytoplasm, it is filled with the water. How much percentage of a cytoplasm is filled with water, student? So it is about 70 to 85% of the cytoplasm is covered, or it is filled with the water. Second thing, you will find that when we look at the other part, we will find that the remaining part, it will include sugar, consisting of a sugar. Besides cell organelles, students, there are sugar, minerals are there, vitamins are there, nucleotide, which help in the formation of a DNA. Then tRNA, which is also called as a transfer RNA. And then many enzymes are there, amino acid is there, and emulsified fat is also present in the cytoplasm. Now, this is what? This is the site of many metabolic activities to be occur. Like in case of a translation, where basically the process of the protein synthesis happen, as well as the process of glycolysis. Glycolysis is a process in which glucogen is converted into glycogen, you can say. Okay, so the process of the glycolysis also happens there. Obviously, students, of all the cell organelle is present in the cytoplasm. So, most of the metabolic activity will occur in the cytoplasm. So, we can write the next point is that cytoplasm is a site of many biochemical chemical or metabolic process. Or metabolic process such as translation. What is translation? Actually, here a transcription process occurs in which RNA to DNA is formed, and another is that is translation where RNA help in the formation of a protein synthesis. Okay, conversion of DNA to RNA and then RNA to protein. So translation, which is what? Protein synthesis. This is the process of the synthesis of protein. So protein synthesis. Then glycolysis. Glycolysis, etc. Okay, so it is a site of a many chemical reaction, many biochemical or a metabolic process occur here, and this will include basically the translation as well as the glycolysis process. Second one is what happen in case of a eukaryotic cell. When you look at this cell, students, like suppose this is a cell. Here so in between that you will find the cytoplasm is there. So this is it. This is cytoplasm. What happened? The movement happened in a cycle. In case of a cytoplasm, and this movement in cycle is called as cyclosis. Okay. So on the basis of that, since they are moving in a cyclic pattern, so we can write that in case of a eukaryotes, in eukaryotes, the cytoplasm always remain in the state of motion. Remain in the state of motion, and basically it moves in a circular manner. Circular manner. This is streaming flow of cytoplasm This streaming flow of cytoplasm is called cyclosis. Okay. So basically cyclosis is what? In which in that of the eukaryote, the cytoplasm, they are always in state of a motion. They used to move in a circular path, and that is called as a cyclosis. Now the cell organelles which is present, because you have seen students when if you look at the onion peel or the cheek cell in a light microscope, you will find that we cannot see the cell organelles which is present in the cytoplasm. We can only see the nucleus, we can only see the cytoplasm itself, we can see the cell wall only, but we cannot see the cell organelle. So to see or to find that of the cell organelle in the cytoplasm, we need a high quality microscope such as electron microscope. The cell organelles which are present in cytoplasm can be seen only with the help of a high quality microscope, such as like electron microscope. So these are the things that we can see in case of a cytoplasm, students. Now, before we go further, let me tell you a few things about viruses. Basically, viruses, they do not have any cell organelles. They do not have a cytoplasm, they do not have a cell membrane, they do not have a cell wall, nothing. They are only having the genetic material, and that will be enclosed into a protein covering that is called as capsid. Okay, and this genetic material, it can be DNA or it can be RNA. So in case of a virus, there is nothing, there is no cell wall, there is no cell membrane, there is no cytoplasm present in it. Only the genetic material is enclosed in a protein covering that is called as capsid, and this may be a DNA or a RNA. Now moving on, and we will see the cell organelles. And in the cell organelles, we will start with the first one, and that is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. Represented by ER. Although again it will be divided into RER and SER depending upon the presence of a ribosome in it. Endoplasmic reticulum is what? It is found in every living cell except in case of a prokaryotes. It means prokaryotic cells do not have it, and also it is not present in a mature mammalian RBCs. So we can say here that ER, endoplasmic reticulum, is found in all living cells except prokaryotes and then mammalian RBC. Mammalian RBCs. Okay. Endoplasmic reticulum, basically if you will find it in the cytoplasm, it is like a extended or extensive tube is there which is spread throughout that of the cytoplasm. When you look at the endoplasmic reticulum, this tubules is basically divided into three, or we can say that endoplasmic reticulum consisting of three different parts, students, and these are cisternae, then vesicle is there, and finally tubules are present in the endoplasmic reticulum. So we can write here that endoplasmic reticulum, see the name itself says reticulum. So what does that mean? That endoplasmic reticulum is called so as it forms an extensive membranous network of tubes and sheets within the cytoplasm. So endoplasmic reticulum, why it is called as an endoplasmic reticulum, student? The reason that it forms an extensive membranous network, and this membranous network is of tube as well as of sheet, and that is why the name is called as endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, now again we can write here that basically or morphologically it consists of morphologically means what, students? When you look it from outside, means its structure. So morphologically it consists of three principal forms. Three principal forms. Cisternae, that is called as principal forms called cisternae, then vesicles, cisternae, vesicles and tubules. These are what? These are the three different part of the endoplasmic reticulum. When we talk about the cisternae, so cisternae is broad, flat and elongated parallel sac. So cisternae is what? When you look at the structure of a cisternae, it is broad, it is elongated and it is a parallel sac. The next one is vesicle. What about vesicle? So vesicles are spherical in shape. Spherical in shape. Vesicles are spherical in shapes. And the tubules, these tubules are branched. Tube-like spaces are present there. Okay? Or branched tube-like spaces. So vesicle is there, which is spherical in shape. Tubules, they are branched tube-like space.